Back again, Men in Space at the Space at Port Jefferson. My favorite segment. Coming up here, our guest, Po'Boy Brewery. Wissam, Bobby, thanks for coming. This is fantastic. We had a guest last week that talked about beer. As sort of like a beer expert, but you guys are brewers, so you're living it every day.
Living it, working hard, sweating at the brow. It's not easy. It seems, like fun and a good time, but it's a lot of work, and I can tell you this is much harder than some of the other stuff that I do.
Right, so not only are you brewing, but you have a location where people can come to, so that's a business too, right?
That's correct. The idea was to create a space that people could come in, just hang their hat, forget about the worries of the day or the week, and just, chill and just make new friends.
So, guys, because I know we're all meeting right here for the first time for, I think, all of you. Po'Boy Brewery, born of Bobby and Wissam, is right at the tracks, pretty much at the tracks at Port Jefferson Station, literally that borderline. And my experience with your brewery has been nothing but positive, both in your creativity. We did at least a few stories together, and also the live music part, which I think all you guys would appreciate on any given weekend.
Yeah, the live music is also that's something that defines the space. We always like to promote the local musician, people that can come in and play, from their heart, real music, unlike maybe some of the music that you find today that is almost synthesized, made by computers, people that can really play an instrument.
Talking language.
That being said, COVID is made it a little bit more difficult because with the playing of music, you can't advertise it as a brewery according to the current New York State laws set by Cuomo. Although you can have it, but you're not supposed to draw attention to it to increase what they believe is increased sales of beverage, which is all ridiculous.
Right. Let's get into the beer since it's staring at us and we're all thirsty. Wissam, tell me about this beer that we are being served by your awesome brewery.
And so this is a Cloudy Mentality. It's a New England IPA.
My favorite for a while now.
Oh, it's definitely one of our flagships.
So what 7.1? Let's give people some sense of what 7.1 means.
It's a big beer.
Well, if you compare it to something that you would find mass-produced, like a light lager, which is 4.5%,
right,
it has, a bit more alcohol. But at the same time, this style of beer requires it to have a little bit more alcohol, and it's the expectation.
Yes.
Shall we?
Great. Yeah. I already.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the first drink that we're having together. We're breaking bread, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being part of our
Thank you.
So I had a
little
question.
podcast here.
Because he was mentioning, you were mentioning that this is a lot of work to do this, and it sounds relative to the music business. I always tell people, don't get into the music business for the money, because it's just not there. It's
Right.
got to be a labor of love. You have to do it because you love it.
Well-
Is it the same thing in your industry?
Absolutely. I find that what you guys do, what we do, all this is a form of art, and art has never been something that, unless you're Michelangelo, just, all of a sudden you're born with and you're doing phenomenal and it's very easy. It could be if you're talented, but still there's a lot of work that goes into it physically.
There's a craft as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's just like baking or cooking. There's a lot of restaurants that might be open, but not every restaurant is a 5-star restaurant. Same thing with beer. That takes a lot of ingredients, a lot of recipes until you perfect it into something that you want.
It's interesting when you're a musician and you're playing out. It's not like being a DJ, and I love the DJs, and it's an art form as well. But when somebody comes up and says, "Oh, can you play that song?" You're like, "I don't know it." "Oh, you know it." Like, no. If they knew what it took to learn a song, the amount of hours that goes into it, and it's redundancy. It's a craft. You have to keep working at it, and
Well, it's also
it's discipline.
It's also about the respect, because someone will say, "Hey, I know you can sing that song." I'm saying I could sing the song, but I don't want to sing the song unprepared because of the massive respect that I have for those songs. Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it a hack song.
Yeah. I do that a lot, though.
I know. That's why I didn't want to bring this up. in front of you.
Okay.
No,
I'm just kidding.
but no, but this is certainly like well crafted.
But Paul, you have to be honest with them. Paul had told us last week that he can't sing when he drinks IPAs. So I would ask, any other flavors today that will make Paul a better singer?
Well, let's see.
Impossible.
We have something that would probably wake him up for sure.
All right.
What's the next one?
That one we should probably leave as the third.
Leave it as the
installment. But our brewery also makes hard ciders. We're one of the few breweries in the country that does both.
That's right.
So the next one that we're going to share today is called Raspy Ripple. It's a sour raspberry hard cider.
This is Raspy Ripple. It's a raspberry hard cider. It's actually one of my favorites.
We're a brewery that also makes hard ciders, one of the few in the country. A lot of the mass-produced hard ciders that you find, they're rather sweet. We call that cloying, where it's sweet, where it tastes like a liquid candy. Some of them taste like a Jolly Rancher, a green apple Jolly Rancher. Big wine drinker. We're both a big wine drinkers. And so my hard ciders, I dry out a little bit more. You're going to have a sweetness, but it's a fruity sweetness that comes from the fruit. All of our ciders and all of our beers are 100% natural. We use all real fruit and ingredients. Some other places use artificial flavors for things. Not me. You'll always taste it in the end. So this is a hard cider with some tartness that comes from the fruit. And let's see what you think.
Salud.
It's delicious.
Christian, what is your reaction on this?
Well, I prefer ciders over beers anyway. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
so I mean, I like this better than I'm not an IPA person,
Right.
and that's strictly because IPAs seem to knock me on my ass a lot quicker than everything else.
You're not the only one.
So, and plus, I get this horrible acid reflux from IPAs, so I just stay away from them altogether. I prefer ciders anyway. This is delicious.
Thank you.
This is a great cider.
Well, thank you. And, for that very reason was what really motivated me to do beyond beer, have some product that the people who didn't like beer or people that like wine and so forth can come to our place and still partake, and nobody's left out then.
Yeah. Really.
I have to be bluntly honest. I don't like ciders, and I like this.
I know, right? I'm
thank
not a
you.
cider guy. There's something about the traditional cider that's like a soury
Well,
mash.
he said
and,
perfect.
and this is not
Jolly
anything,
Rancher.
anything like this.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna have to be brutally honest too.
Go ahead, bud.
I hate sweetened raspberry stuff. I like the fresh raspberry. When you said raspberry, I didn't think I was going to like it. This is amazing.
Well,
Right.
thank you.
This
Yeah.
is truly amazing.
It's very different.
because I like
than
the
what I was
fresh,
expecting.
the fresh taste of the raspberry.
Right.
This doesn't taste like that artificial sweetened raspberry. So I'm surprised that I liked it because
Well,
when you said it, I was like,
Well, I'm not a
"Might
big
have to
cider
fake this
drinker.
one."
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm not a big cider drinker because of those reasons that I mentioned previously. So I make it taste almost wine-like or mixed cocktail drink-like, and that's what you'll find with our ciders. And the combination of flavors and ingredients that I use for ciders, no one in the world has done some of the things that I have. And you could easily look it up online. I'll combine things like from raspberries, very simple, but crazy things like, let's say for Halloween, candy apple habanero hard cider, little tiny sweetness
nice,
with
nice.
spice. I have things that taste like key lime pie, all using natural ingredients.
I like the bite of the carbonation. Is
Definitely.
that something that's unique to yours? Because I don't remember having a cider with that nice
Correct.
fresh bite to it.
Well, one, that comes from the fruit itself, and two, I dry mine out a bit more. I don't want it to taste like a candy. We're adults, and we should have an adult beverage, and it makes it repeatable. If you have one sugary drink, I can't
Brilliant
even get
stuff.
through it, and that's
Really?
it. So this way, people keep drinking it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would. I have to say, I would never thought I would buy. I would buy this. I
Yeah,
want this.
I would have
Like
this.
I actually feel like it's quenching my thirst too, which is interesting.
It does, and I think that's one of her favorite ciders that I make.
It is. We get so many, especially men that come in and say, "Oh no, I don't drink any hard ciders," and I'll slip them one.
And
in
now
like a
you do.
flight,
Yeah.
And they'll have
right.
it. They're like, "Oh, this is really good. What is this?" I'm like, "That's a cider."
Right.
And-
Right.
You burned.
And then they're like, "Oh my god!" And then they'll proceed to just keep ordering ciders after that. So
Wow.
She'll slip them one. It sounds like she slipped them a Mickey or something, right?
She turned them.
I turn them.
So I have to ask, in the operation, are you? Is it literally back room, front room?
Yeah,
in terms of your roles.
She absolutely, the bar manager handles all the social media, all the things that are required for the employees and so forth. And I'm in the back, sweating,
Yeah.
while she's
The
in air
operator-
Sipping on a
conditioning.
beer.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
wish we had air conditioner.
but what a great partnership. That's awesome.
Yeah, it has worked out. It's been a nice combination, and it hasn't failed us.
Excellent. All right, hit us out of the park with your last selection.
All right, so what we're going to do now is something also outside of the box. What I brought is a coffee pumpkin spiced beer. This is
So good.
made with coffee. If you don't like coffee, be prepared. Otherwise, if you love coffee, this is probably going to be up your alley.
We live for coffee.
If you feel like you are, losing a little energy and you need a jolt, take this because you'll see that it feels like you're almost having a cup of coffee.
And we should mention we're right at Halloween. I mean, you guys should know. I asked these two beautiful people to come dressed up for Halloween, and then thank God you said, "Kevin, are you dressing up?" And I said, "No." Therefore, you should not dress up either. Thank you.
That's why I
But you
asked.
know what? I had a picture in my mind because you guys had an awesome Halloween party,
Oh,
and
we
I
were
kind of
Halloween.
remember you. You were like this big. You had a devil or something, weren't you? The devil or
Oh,
something?
I
It's
can
a
confirm
killer-
that. Oh, wait.
It's a killer
oh.
clown.
No, no.
Halloween party, sorry.
Yeah, no. So I knew that. So I don't know. It's perfect the way we are.
I've got a question on this one. What is the ideal temperature for this one right here? In your mind?
Well, the good part about coffee, you can have it hot, but
That's-
in the middle of
that's
summer,
right.
you can have iced coffee.
That's right.
So,
But what would you deem just for this
for
particular
this,
song?
I would say about 55 degrees.
Good.
I think anything that's too cold will numb your palate, and the
That's right.
nerves that sense, flavors,
That's right.
will be a bit subdued. And I use this as a reference. Some of the mass-produced beers, the reason they sell it so cold and they want you to drink it just above freezing is because they want to numb your palate. And if you let it go up to room temperature, you'll realize
what it
how
is.
shitty it
Right.
tastes.
What you're really drinking.
A good craft beer
That's a
should
good
be
point.
served, nothing below 42 degrees for sure. I typically like the just slightly cooler than cellar temperatures. In England, they drink ales at 50, 55 degrees.
That's
Where
right.
we find that very uncommon here in America. So you also have to adjust, according to your environment and what the people want. So, I'll serve it at the brewery at 42 degrees.
What is the rim, Wisam?
It's just cinnamon sugar.
Okay, and so that does what for a beer?
So, this expectation during this time of year. with
It is
these-
an expectation. You
Yeah,
have.
a lot of people have just found that when you have a pumpkin beer, it tastes pretty good if you lace it with some cinnamon sugar, and it might make that mundane type of beer taste a little bit more fall-like. I typically don't do this, but for this beer, it actually works very well. So that being said, it's made with a good amount of coffee, and it will pick you up if you're feeling a little down.
We're getting one of these beautiful coffee pumpkin beers over to our staff and our talent. Joe, do you have one yet? Where are you getting one now? Alex, we need you to play all the right notes still, so don't take too much of that.
Actually, this beer was written up in Newsday a couple of years ago because it was so unique and they came down.
You won an amazing award. I celebrated with you last year, right?
That's right. The brewery itself, for 2020, we were voted the best brewery on Long Island through News 12
Wow.
poll.
That's fantastic.
The year before that, we were voted the best brewery in the tri-state area. Sorry, I the award for 2020 was from the Bethpage Best of Long Island. And the year before that, the best brewery in the tri-state area was from News 12's online poll and so forth.
Congratulations.
For me, I'm also a certified beer judge. And personally, before I opened the brewery, I had won about 38 awards. And I was told it was the most awards in New York State in the 3-year period.
Wow.
To our crew,
Cheers.
Yeah, there we go. Empty
cheers.
glass.
Let's taste this one.
I love it. I'm a big coffee guy.
You taste both flavors exactly parallel.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that
That's a great point that you just made.
Yeah, I'm so glad that one
you
didn't
get the
overpower
both.
the other. They're totally parallel. You're
Wow.
making a stereo beer. Maybe the first.
Not monaural.
Well, it's binaural once it goes down a pipe. Really good. Po'Boy, thanks for joining us. You're welcome back anytime.
Great.
I mean,
you.
what could be better, gentlemen and ladies?
We love
Thank
the
you.
space. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
It was an honor to be here. We love the way the space feels. Yeah, I was commenting to her earlier that this space would make a lovely, like laid back speakeasy, like cider bar or whatever it is that nobody would know about.
Yeah.
1
after
o'clock
hours.
and after.
So when you guys close, we open.
There
Yeah.
we go. There we go. We'll bring the product.
We already have the
We
live
got
music.
the music. We'll bring the product.
Alex Alexander, bring us to something that's jacked up. Yeah. Jack it up, baby.
He wakes up in the morning, does his teeth by to eat at his roll, never changing another word, week and week. Both got each other.